Good morning, and thank you for joining me today. We want to welcome the Georgia School of Addictions. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
I feel muffled. I don't sound muffled? Okay. That's fine. I'll do it here like this. For the note, I'm way far away from you all, but just for purposes of clarity. Our collective hearts and prayers are with our friends in Louisiana and Mississippi as they are just fathoming the reality of being hit by the Category 4 Hurricane Ida on the 16th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. The entire city of New Orleans is without power, and the damage is reported as being massive: extensive property damage, flooding, sewage spills, loss of communication, and cell service. Rescues are still occurring, and the casualties are expected to be enormous. This region, that is still recovering from last year's storms, is victimized again. Savannah, the peak of our hurricane season is September the 10th. Please have a plan. Please be prepared. If we say leave, leave. And if you leave, know where you're going in advance. And if we say stay, be prepared to stay. Be prepared to shelter in place for days, possibly without power, possibly without the ability to leave your home for days. Know what you're going to do. Have that important family meeting. Write the plan down. Do not get caught out there. This is a cautionary tale for us because this could have easily been us. And we know that if Savannah is hit head on with a Category 3 or 4 storm, most of our city is underwater. And under the right conditions, the damage could be catastrophic. And so when you know better, you do better. And so while we are watching and praying for our friends in the Gulf Coast, we have to also make sure that we are adequately and appropriately prepared. So that's today's cautionary tale and message. Georgia can count on nearly 20,000 new coronavirus cases since Friday. 20,000 since Friday, as the Delta variant continues to surge. Dr. Kathleen Toomey, Georgia Public Health Commissioner, said, and I quote, "We are behind some of our other states behind the Delta surge. Virtually 100% are Delta variant." Saturday, we had 12,223 cases reported, which is one of our highest daily cases ever reported, end quote. And I'll repeat that again. Saturday, we had 12,223 cases reported, which is one of our highest daily cases ever reported, end quote. And so the numbers speak for themselves. We're not doing as well as we should be. We certainly are not doing as well as we could be. A new CDC study shows that unvaccinated people are 5 times more likely to contract COVID and nearly 30 times more likely to be hospitalized. 5 times more likely to contract COVID and nearly 30 times more likely to be hospitalized. We recognize that people have the right and opportunity to make their own decisions. However, over the last few days, I've been inundated with personal accounts as well as news coverage, both locally and across the nation, of people who rejected the science and paid the price with their lives, or people who rejected the science and insisted on personal freedoms and individual choice, and now are regretting that choice. And so I've been contacted by people who are now believers and want to tell people to wear their mask and, most importantly, to be vaccinated. Last week, all 8 counties in the Coastal Health District set new records for COVID-19 transmission, and hospitalizations also hit an all-time high. Could you imagine what happens if we're in the middle of an evacuation with COVID cases in our hospitals? In Chatham County, our 7-day rolling average of new cases still sits above 270 after peaking at 306.1 last week. We are still recording more than 1,350 cases per every 100,000 residents after recording a record community transmission index of 1397 last week. So the highest we've been, 1397 last week. And we're still recording more than 1,350 cases for every 100,000 residents. About 52% of Chatham County residents have had at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, but the critical number is that about 45% are fully vaccinated. If you have not already, I'll say it again, please get your COVID vaccine. The Coastal Health District is hosting 6 pop-up clinics throughout the city this week, and its regular clinics at the Chatham County Health Department and at the Savannah Fire Headquarters. You can find the full list and make an appointment at georgiachd.org/vaccine, gachd.org/vaccine. Walk-ins are also welcome. Vaccines are also widely available at pharmacies, health clinics, and doctors' offices. As a reminder, if you or your child participates in a program in one of our community centers, these facilities will close at 5 p.m. on Friday, September the 3rd, until further notice per my emergency order. Utility payment assistance is available for City of Savannah utility customers with unpaid balances. Anyone with an outstanding bill is encouraged to apply for assistance as soon as possible to ensure that there are no service interruptions as the city's utility service department resumes normal business operations in September. The State of Georgia Rental Assistance Program is available to pay past due utilities and rent. The money will be distributed directly to landlords, and eligible applicants will receive up to 12 months of payment relief. For more information about eligibility and to apply, visit georgiarentalassistance.ga.gov or call 833-827-7368. That's georgiarentalassistance.ga.gov or call 833-827-7368. The Economic Opportunity Authority is distributing funds available through the Emergency Rental Assistance Program to eligible households. For more information about eligibility and to apply, call 912-238-2960. You can also reach out via email, and all of the email addresses are listed in the top story section of our homepage, our award-winning homepage of SavannahGA.gov. City bill payment plans are also available, and customers interested in setting up a new payment arrangement should contact Utility Services at 912-651-6460, 912-651-6460, Monday through Friday from 8:15 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. In July, Utility Services began mailing customers with unpaid balances to notify them about regular collection updates and activities that are occurring in September. Customers have 30 days to pay their bill without penalty, and additional fees are assessed beginning on day 31. Payments can be made online at savannahga.gov/utility-pay or in person at 305 Farm Street. That's the Coastal Georgia Center. Starting in September, more than a dozen city departments will move into a new state-of-the-art facility on Interchange Drive. And we're asking for our residents and our customers to please be patient with us as we go through this transition. Once we've moved into our new municipal services building, we will be excited to offer an increased level of customer service and accessibility. For a full listing of the departments impacted, view the top story section on savannahga.gov, savannahga.gov. The ARCS Task Force, or the Advocates for Restorative Communities in Savannah, will host the When is the Debt Paid conference for those with criminal histories, those that have been justice impacted, on September the 25th. This conference will be 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. in the Armstrong Center Ballroom at 13040 Abercorn Street in Savannah. The conference is free, but you must register by September the 20th to attend. Please call 912-344-3602 to reserve your spot. Registration is limited to 50 people to allow for social distancing, and masks are also required throughout the event. For more information, please visit savannahga.gov/reentry, savannahga.gov/reentry. And I'm gratified to all of our task force members, our chair, Katina Wheeler, Dr. Maxine Bryan, and the sponsors who are making this event possible for justice-involved individuals and their families. As we talk about equity, as we talk about being the beloved community, that includes those that are returning home from jails and prisons, those who have paid their debt to society, and how we can work together to ensure that they have the opportunity to do better and to positively contribute to our community. The Metropolitan Planning Commission will host a virtual neighborhood meeting tonight at 6:30 p.m. about Plan 2040, which is our community's comprehensive plan. You can register for the virtual meeting by following the link in the top story section of savannahga.gov. In City Council business last week, as you know, we approved a 3% raise for all eligible city employees retroactive to July the 4th, 2021. It includes an additional 0.5% for police beyond their modular pay plan raise allotment of 2.5%. This proposal amends the city's 2021 operating budget and costs an additional $3.5 million. But certainly, in my opinion, and now in the council's opinion, this pay increase was well-deserved and certainly long overdue. We thought it was prudent for us to maintain the current millage rate, to provide us the funds to be able to do this, and I'm glad that we were able to do that in relatively short order once we maintain the millage rate. We know that costs go up, and as a shout out to Team Savannah, they work throughout this. People still expect services. They expect bad folks to be caught. They expect fires to be fought. They expect their grass to be cut. They expect their traffic lights to work. They expect their water to be treated, their sewage to be treated, trees and right-of-ways to be cleared, and that's what Team Savannah does every single day. Not only those in those outward-facing departments, but in those inward-facing departments, people you know, public communications, and then, of course, folks in our office, people who work with the public every single day and has worked every single day during this pandemic. So I say well-deserved, Team Savannah. Wish we could do more, but I think this is goes a long way. As you know, we also approved a resolution to direct the city manager to work with his counterparts at Chatham County the public school system, and Chatham Area Transit to create and implement an employee vaccination incentive program. And we believe that this will be a significant step in helping our community to become vaccinated. Essentially, we want to have a consistent program with consistent incentives, with a consistent start and end time, so that we can measure the program and measure the effectiveness. We know that between the public employers, we touch almost every family in this county. And so we think that if we push this, and we push it right, we push it hard, that we can make a significant dent and get over 50% in this county. So I'm pleased that our public employers are finding mutually beneficial ways to work together and to keep our employees and our communities safe. So that's it for me. Ends my prepared remarks, and I will answer any questions you may have. And I wanted to wish Billy Gray a happy birthday today. He's all bit of 31 years old. So
good morning, Mayor Johnson.
Good morning.
Yesterday, Governor Kemp deployed a second round of National Guard, but he won't put any really restrictions in place. Does it seem more reactive than proactive?
It's absolutely reactive. I mean, it's like you can do something to prevent it, or you can react to it after it happens. I mean, that's been the modus operandi. Certainly, I don't agree with it, but certainly it's his right to be able to do. You mean to tell me that we will send in more National Guard to help people after they've been infected than to put a mask mandate in place to stop people from being infected in the first place? In Georgia, we're continuing this race to the bottom. I mean, I think, unfortunately, we seem to be content that Georgia, among southern states, are among the highest in the country. That just, I'm really tired of talking about it. I mean, in the end, we're going to be proactive. We're going to follow the science. And this is the unfortunate part when science and public health becomes political. The fact is, go ahead, do the mask mandate. I mean, it makes sense to do. Let's do what we can to stop people from being sick in the first place. There are states that have done it successfully. Their numbers have slowed down to a degree where vaccinations were able to catch up. I just think we're playing a game of the mouse chasing the cat. Thank you.
Good morning, Mayor Johnson.
Good morning.
Could you talk more about what incentives you guys are considering for the vaccination program for employees? And also, are you guys discussing possibly requiring for all city staff to be vaccinated?
Well, I think, in our initial conversation with Chairman Ellis, Superintendent Levette, and Executive Director Ragland, was that obviously we think cash incentives work. We think that it provides an immediate financial benefit to people. Across the country, cash incentives have worked really, really well. And the fact is, I think there are going to be some people who are not going to be vaccinated anyway. So that's them. There's some people who can't be vaccinated, and we understand that. But then there are some people with the right incentive in place, they'll do it. So, I mean, I envision, anywhere upwards of $500 or more to be vaccinated. I mean, that means to complete both vaccinations. So, I think it works. Again, and the goal is to get to where we need to be. In terms of mandatory vaccinations for our employees, it's still on the table. Again, I think the Pfizer receiving full FDA approval went a long way in getting us there. I think, we have a lot of folks that have taken Moderna and Johnson & Johnson, and so I would not want to mandate vaccinations for people that have received vaccinations, to include myself, that have not received full FDA approval. I received Moderna, so I think as that goes, the majority of the folks here have either the Pfizer or the Moderna. So I think once we get to that point, and then we'll see what our vaccination rates are, we'll see. But I think you'll start seeing the military has done it. Understood SCAD is requiring people to be vaccinated or tested. You'll start seeing more and more insistence on people being vaccinated.
Could you talk about why vaccine programs for city staff weren't discussed earlier this year when the vaccine came out?
Didn't have the money. I mean, yeah. I mean, the ARPA funds help provide an opportunity for us to go down roads we were not able to go down before. You know, again, keep in mind the vaccinations were in December, so there were categories of people in December. Most people were not really eligible until April-ish, March, April, May-ish, and so, you know, to be honest with you, I don't think that we really thought that once the vaccinations became available, people would jump at the opportunity. Now, that being said, the city of Savannah already has an incentive program. That right now we are offering, or we're offering, 1 day's pay, 8 hours of leave for any employee that became vaccinated. And so that program will be ending, I believe, tomorrow. So that'll make way for the new program. So we've had an incentive, it just wasn't widely publicized.
And will there be any special consideration for permits for large events for attendees who are fully vaccinated?
Not at this time. Right now, our challenge is managing these events. How do you verify? And you know, the amount of money and effort that it would take for these organizations that are holding these events to verify that somebody is fully vaccinated or not. So we have not really been approached with that possibility yet. Right now, our partners have essentially decided to go virtual or to go hybrid in private spaces. So we're not there yet.
Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Is there any update from last week as far as the timeline for the vaccine incentive program?
Well, we're hoping that our managers will be meeting within this week. I would hope to have something for information for council by next week, hopefully. I think, again, September is a very good time to do it, particularly when you look at the number of infections in our public school system. We recognize that we have to have teachers and personnel vaccinated. If our schools close wholesale, we have a significant manpower program issue at the city, the county, and Chatham Area Transit. Because before our employees are employees, they're parents. And so they'll have to be able to manage that. And you know, most places don't necessarily offer leave because your child school is closed. So it creates a financial hardship on a bunch of people, to include our local economy, small business owners and things. So you know, we have to do what we can to keep our public safety and public service professionals safe and healthy, and the vaccine is a way to do that.
I understand that the city manager is in charge of, meeting with the other directors, the other entities that are going to be part of that. But once they come to a conclusion, is that something that council will vote on, or how will that work?
The resolution was to allow him to develop and devise the program. I think the intent was also to be able to implement it, but obviously if we're within a period of time where we can present that to council, then we will. The goal is to be consistent with the other entities.
With our current COVID restrictions for our city right now, the revoked event permits, the mask mandate, is that something that you would consider establishing every time there's a peak? So say if it goes down and events are back, but then we have a peak in COVID cases in December, what does that look like on your end?
We have established here in Savannah that we keep the faith and we follow the science. And so there are a number of indicators that we look at, and as you all know, I'm blessed with an extraordinary team of medical advisors that represent all of our hospitals, our federally funded healthcare centers, and private physicians. And they have been unanimous and consistent on the advice they've provided. So it's one thing to look at a number, it's something different to look at a trend. So for example, when we were looking at lifting the mask mandate, well, the thought was, well, you know, we fell below 100. We need to go ahead and revoke it at 99, which doesn't make sense to me, because next day we could be at 102. So we're on again, we're off again. So the goal is to look for trends. And so those metrics, of course, is the community transmission index, the percentage of positive cases, and our hospitalizations are our key indicators. If they're all trending down, and it seems like it's trending down over time, as we did, we revoked and lessened the restrictions. If the situation changes, as it did, then we reinstituted it. You know, it's important for us, and I think it's good public policy for us just to be consistent in terms of following the science. So everybody's clear what metrics we're viewing, and it's kept and maintained by a reputable source, being the Georgia Health Department, Georgia Department of Public Health.
You mentioned it earlier, but yesterday SCAD announced that they're going to be requiring vaccines for students and staff or weekly negative COVID testing for those people. How do you think that will impact the greater Savannah area when you think about how large SCAD is?
Well, obviously, Savannah College of Art Design is a major influence in our community. I'm glad that they're doing it. And I know, as much as I hate taking that test, I would get a shot in a minute. I hate shots, but I hate that test more. And so I hope that goes a long way in helping our community, particularly as we look at the influx of people coming here. We want them to come here vaccinated. That helps our businesses, that helps our greater community. So I applaud them for doing it.
I want to talk about Labor Day weekend,
Yes.
what you are kind of expecting as far as crowds, and if there's going to be more COVID control out, as far as, mandating masks, things like that.
We're expecting nothing. Again, we've pulled public permits, so there won't be any events in the public space. We're hoping that people will abide and act responsibly. We're hoping that our businesses will insist on mask wearing within their businesses, and it's up to them. Our reality is that our next checkpoint is mid-September, 2 weeks from Labor Day. If we hunker down now and do what we're supposed to do, and our numbers are trending down or holding steady, then we get the opportunity to talk about October. If we have a significant bump in September, then we start canceling stuff for October and November. Again, for us, this is purely cause and effect. And so I hope, and I hate that some of our business organizations have just kind of said, you don't have to do what you want to do. Well, there's a consequence for doing what you want to do. If our numbers are up, October is a very busy month for activities here. It's a very important month for many of our businesses, but we will not have these large activities in our community if our numbers remain high. We just won't. And if we have to make a decision about November at that time, we'll do that, and then at some point we'll have to determine about the rest of the year.
I have a lot of topics, sorry. You mentioned earlier in your notes as well some opportunities for people who may be struggling with bills, the rental assistance program, the EOA is helping out. Now that the nationwide eviction ban is over, do you have any idea, how many people in Savannah might be affected and need those resources?
A lot. From personal experience, a lot of people. Some by consequence and some by happenstance. But now that was, it was supposed to be lifted, I think, October. And so now the magistrate court Sheriff's Department to start moving forward with these evictions. And so you will see a lot of transition as it relates to housing. And that's across the country. And so we have to be prepared here for that as well, as best we can. So that's why we're trying to make sure that people who need assistance can get assistance.
What advice do you have for those people?
Have a plan quickly. You know, there was going to come a day in which this was going to happen, be it the beginning of September, be it the beginning of October. Hopefully you have a plan. There has been plenty of money, plenty of opportunities through the city of Savannah, through Chatham County, through some great nonprofits, United Way, to be able to assist people. There have been stimulus checks given. There have been child tax credits given, opportunities for people. And I think the base of someone's existence is to first have a place to stay. And so as a landlord myself, my position is that you communicate. You don't just not pay your rent. You communicate, you know, I'm having an issue. I don't have all of it, but here's some of it. You build that relationship so that you're able to use that relationship to leverage when times like this comes. But if you're not paying anything at all and refuse to pay anything, you know, then, you know, I can understand landlords that say, hey, you know, you know. And then some people are, you know, judgment proof. You know, that money you'll never get back. And there's not been that protection for landlords that, you know, your mortgage is still due even when your residents are not paying rent. You're still responsible for that mortgage. And so, you know, again, I think there's that side of the coin that we have not really considered the impact to landlords. That if a landlord or owner of a house or apartment loses the apartment because they can't pay the mortgage, then that affects the renters as well. So I think, you know, it's a big issue. I'm just hoping that people don't wait till the last minute. If you know that you haven't paid your rent and you know that you have you've been to court or you're preparing to go to court and you've been served, go ahead and start making plans now for where you're going to go. I mean, you know, it's humiliating, distressing oftentimes to see people's personal belongings be put on the side of the street. And, you know, we hate seeing that. So go ahead, make the plan now.
Last question for you.
I mean, you just really into it today, huh?
I know, I took a long list.
You're fine.
With the city departments moving to this new facility on Interchange Drive, I know you said in the past that it's about, you know, moving city departments to city-owned buildings. Can you talk about the cost saved, if there is any associated with that?
Well, I don't think there's a, you know, we had the city lot, which is city-owned. And so now we're able to co-locate departments that work together, so it makes sense that they're together. We're able to put our electric refueling capabilities out there for our electric fleet, so that helps us as well. I'm not sure about what the cost savings is, but I think that it does get some of those folks out of some of the facilities we want to get them out of. And again, this has been a very strong march to get us into where we have buildings that we own. I plan very soon to have the conversation with council about the Gamble building, which is next door. It's a significant building that I'm hoping that we're planning to keep, that we need to ramp up renovation so we can get people in that building. Our goal is to be out of the Savannah Morning News building relatively soon. And again, the money that we save on the rent could go toward the debt service of the buildings that we're renovating. So I'm excited about the new facility, the new Public Works facility. We're hoping to name it after a great Savannian. and I'm excited about, you know, the fact that we'll have synergy. And then more importantly, that we've moved the city lot from in front of Carver Village. Now it's behind it, and so, you know, now we can create a better gateway for these historic communities on the west side.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well. How about you? You got a question?
Pretty good.
Whoa.
I have a couple questions. First question, since asking religious leaders to switch back to worshiping virtually, have you had any response from them since then?
Yes. And we enjoy a very good relationship with our faith community through a task force called Savannah Faith. I've heard from many faith leaders that have either reevaluated, they're cutting back, they're going to either hybrid models or virtual models. Temple Mikveh Israel comes to mind. As you know, the high holidays are coming up for the Jewish faith, and they're doing those virtually. So I appreciate them working with me as we follow the science, as we try to keep people safe. So it's been an excellent response. And again, I think that, you know, part of Savannah's key of being successful as we have been is because of our ability of our faith community to be nimble and be responsive and to be quick. Some of our religious institutions are moving back to outdoor worship because temperatures are starting to hopefully change. So we're hoping that'll help as well.
As far as COVID goes and moving about the city, has there been any pushback about the mask mandate or having masks or any punishments that have happened since then?
It's always pushback about the mask mandate. You know, I think people just push back just to push back. You know, it is what it is. Our ability to be effective in October depends on our ability to be effective in August and September. Our ability to be effective in November and December depends on our ability to be effective now. This mask does not restrict freedom. In my opinion, this mask gives freedom. It gives us the freedom to enjoy our city, to enjoy events and activities in our city. And so people have to make that choice, whether they want to be able to do that. To me, the choice is absolutely clear. I want to enjoy my city. I want to remain safe. Therefore, I wear a mask.
What kind of restrictions may go into place if you have to enforce some more mandate?
What type of, more restrictions?
Yeah.
Again, I mean, October is an extremely busy month for Savannah. And we'll start pulling those permits. We'll pull them. And we're serious about that. You know, it affects people. It affects and if people feel like, well, it doesn't affect them, well, it does affect them because part of what makes Savannah wonderful is Savannah's public space. And so when we're closing community centers, you know, we don't want to have to close public squares, parks, those types of things. Activities that we all enjoy. Again, it affects everybody. It behooves us to do what we can to be safe, to keep our numbers down. Because if not, we all suffer.
My last question for you, sir. I know you kind of had a fair year as far as hurricane stats and everything last year with COVID and everything. What about this year? Do you feel that we're prepared if we got hit with the storm next week, next month?
Well, that's always the million-dollar question. So obviously, last year, thank God, we did not have any major storms. This is already a very active hurricane season. We're already at J. And, you know, we know that come September is usually our time. There is a storm that has developed off of the coast of Africa that we're watching, no threat right now. Hence my continued warning that we just be prepared. I think the city is going to be as prepared as we can be. As you know, now beyond our emergency management department, we coordinate with Chatham Emergency Management, and I think we have a good plan. But ultimately, the plan is on execution, and then execution deals with everyday citizens doing what they're supposed to do. if our citizens act like some did in Louisiana and say, I'm not going anywhere, I'm gonna ride it out, and we're hit with the level storm of a 3 or 4, it can be catastrophic for them. Again, people say, I'll ride it out, but when your roof comes off, when you don't have any power for days, when people can't get to you, and in a COVID environment where hospitals may not be able to take you, you know, so I'm just asking for people to have a plan. You know what it is you're going to do. I know what I have to do. Have your plan written out, have your go bag, have your documents already digitized, have your medication list, know where it is your medications are, know whose house you're going to go to or what hotel you're going to go to. Just don't pop up on people's houses, hey, we're here, because you don't know their COVID status. So, you know, these are the conversations we have to have right now, just to be able to know. You know, again, I think that what happened in New Orleans provides us a very clear warning for what could happen in Savannah. You know, we're lowland as well. And again, under a 3 or 4, Savannah almost virtually is underwater. And so for our friends on the islands, you know, though not in Savannah, we care about them. You know, if Highway 80 is inundated with water, nobody can get to Tybee Island. And so again, we just want to make sure as a community that we're keeping that ahead. As you know, it only takes a day. A week ago, the folks in New Orleans weren't thinking about a hurricane. A week later, you know, a major difference. So, we want Savannah to be prepared, and we're asking them to continue to be vigilant and continue to be prepared. Thank you. Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
Some cities like New York are starting this vaccine passport program.
Yes.
Have you guys talked about doing something like that?
Yes. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're just not here yet. And part of the reason is because, I mean, we have our state is so far behind. I mean, you know, we can't get to innovation and being creative when we're employing Neanderthal type of tactics in terms of not doing what is medically recommended. We need a statewide mask mandate. It is clear, this is not political, sorry Marty, this is public health. I mean, it just makes sense that we have a mask mandate. I mean, I don't know what's so hard about that. Nobody be mad at him because we have it. I mean, you know, at some point, when we're looking at the states where the governors and have refused to do them is where the cases are highest. Florida, Texas, Georgia. I was supposed to be in Texas, leaving today to go to Texas. U.S. Conference of Mayors was meeting in Austin, and that's been canceled. They did not want to put mayors from across the country at risk because of Texas' abnormally high COVID infection rates. You know, again, you know, wanted to go, but, you know, we have to be able to remain safe. So, I mean, I think that at some point you have to put the politics aside and just do what's good. And I think we can all agree that, you know, for me, the mask has worked. I haven't gotten COVID, thank God, thus far. And I haven't had bad allergies this year either. So, you know, this is good science, it's solid science. And we know that if you use masks regularly, particularly among people, that you're less likely to catch COVID. And we know that if you're vaccinated, you're less likely to get sick, less likely to be hospitalized, less likely to die. And that's what we're trying to get people. I've known of at least 3 to 4 people within the last week that have died of COVID-19 right here in this community. So this is real. It has gotten real. Real. Anything else? All right, well, thank you all for what you do. Be safe. May God bless you all. May God bless Savannah. And happy birthday, Billy Gray.